Welcome back to my channel, ODJ Lillian. I'm so excited to have you here. In this our teaching on preparing for marriage, we have done the first, second, and the third video. The first one was centered on the true meaning of a Christian marriage. The second one we talked about getting yourself ready, that is preparing yourself for the journey of marriage. That is where we say that 90% of whether your marriage will succeed or whether it will crash is dependent on you, not on your partner. So the third video, we talked about the mystery of love and passion, where we talked about the love in marriage being beyond the physical love and desire that we see. And now I want to talk about choosing the right partner. Before we go into choosing the right partner, there are basic things I want you to know. Because there is no angel somewhere waiting for you. So there are certain things you must know before you get into the journey of preparing to choose someone. So what are those things you must know? First, you must know that happy marriages can only come as a blessing from God. I just want you to know that. It comes even though there is a part for you to play, but if God have not blessed you with a peaceful marriage, you can never have it. So what are you expected to do? You are expected to talk to God about it. First, give your life to Christ, because Christ reserved the best for his own. That's just the fact. Give your life to Christ. Live a life that is according to the standard of Christ. I didn't say you should go and live in church. Just live the faith. When it comes to choosing the right partner, you have to pray ahead of time. It's not that you want to marry in 2023, then you now start praying in 2023. It doesn't work that way. I remember during my own time, I prayed long before I started even dreaming of marriage, because I used to hear a lot of stories and scary stories that touches the heart. I never wanted to be part of it. So I started praying early. So have you been praying for marriage? Have you been praying for the right partner? I'm not saying that you should pray, God send the person now if you are not ready. Just pray, God, whenever it is time, send me someone, a match made in heaven. And remember that as you are praying for that match made in heaven, you must have prepared yourself according to the second video, because God doesn't give a bundle of liability to his own. So you must have prepared yourself, and then you pray to God. During my own time, I made a list of the qualities I wanted, kept it on my altar, and I prayed with it day and night for years. Yes, because I wasn't ready for marriage then. I was just praying, maybe praying for fun or something like that. I don't know. But I just prayed. And each time I prayed, I was very serious with the prayer. It wasn't a joke. So that is the way you should do it. You pray ahead of time. Sometimes fast if you can. Sometimes wake up at the middle of the night, pray, tell God, let heaven open unto you, that whenever you are ready to settle down, let that person you will be with be your soulmate, that will build a house and a home with you, that will last forever. I'm telling that God answers prayers. So make it a point of duty that you must pray and pray and pray very well, long before you start that journey of marriage. The second thing I would like you to know is that whether your marriage will stand or whether it will fail is 90% dependent on who you are, not on who your partner is. So you don't just keep yourself, you don't develop yourself, you don't prepare yourself like you said in the second video, and you are expecting that when it's time for marriage. I know my Igbo brothers, they used to do this thing a lot. They will come to the city, they will be spoiling all the girls in the city, fornicating up and down, going from one club to another, doing whatever they like. And when it's time for marriage, they will go down to the village and tell them, look for a very nice girl. In short, find a virgin for me. My dear, God will give you a terrible virgin. You see that innocent little girl you think doesn't know anything, it's because he never see anything. When the person comes to the city, with time, the person will get used to the environment. That is when you will see the real character of that person. So God will always give you exactly what you deserve. So just know that your marriage is largely dependent on you, not on your partner. Just like every other person will wait, they will talk about their partner. My partner is doing not doing this, and you ask a man, why are you unfaithful? Tell me that the person will tell you that if not that my wife talks too much. That is high level of irresponsibility. Okay, you are giving excuses for your action. It means you are not mature enough to be a man. You are not mature enough to be in marriage. I've seen a lot of women, why are you cheating on your husband? They will be like, their husband is cheating, so they are cheating back. It's 1-1. Imagine that. You are still a baby. Because when you are mature, you don't do things because someone is doing it. You do things because you want to do it. That's just the fact. So if you are cheating on your partner, my dear, you are simply a cheat. There is no excuse. And you see those people that will say that I'm cheating back. You have always been a cheat, waiting for an opportunity to cheat. So don't think that your joy is dependent on your partner. You now wait for your partner to do heaven and earth while you relax. My dear, whether your marriage will survive or whether it will fail is dependent on you. Get it into your head. Just know that you are the one that will make your marriage work, not the other person, like we normally do, especially in Africa. Thinking that someone is supposed to make your marriage work and make everything perfect and tolerate all your excuses and immaturity is just a sign that you are irresponsible. I'm just trying to tell you the truth. Don't be offended. You are irresponsible. If you are responsible, then you take responsibility for all your actions. It's only an irresponsible man that will say that, since my wife talks too much, let me go and find someone that doesn't talk. And it's only an irresponsible woman that will say, since my husband does not provide enough money, let me go and look for someone else. It is all about being irresponsible. And I'm trying to tell you that you are not mature enough for marriage. You're supposed to be in your parents' house. So if you fall into this category, my dear, just pack your bags. Maybe go back to your mother's house. Tell them that you came to learn maturity because you are still a baby. Not just a baby, a naughty one at that. So the next thing you should know is that everyone is a marriage material. You see, I've seen a lot of men that will come to me and say, help me look for your wife. And I will be like, what kind of wife do you want? So I want someone that is marriageable, a marriage material, someone that is this, someone that is that. You see a woman say, like a fairy tale, tall, dark and handsome, all those things. They are important. But the fact is that every woman is a marriage material. Every man is a marriage material. It depends on you. Just like you can buy a material of 2K, take it to the tailor will design it and the clothes will look like 100K clothes. You will see someone that will buy a 100K material, give it to a tailor and the tailor will just spoil everything. That's just the way it is with marriage. So in your marriage, I want you to know that person you are living with is not your problem. Everybody is a marriage material and everybody has two sides. There is this good side of them and there is this demon in them. So if you are smart enough and wise enough, you nurture that good side of them and you never see the demon. And when you try to nurture the demon, you will never see the good side. That's just it. So I've seen a lot of men and a lot of women that they are terrible outside, but when they come to their marriage, once they get home, you'll be imagining they respect their husband, they respect their wife, and when they come out, they'll be terrorizing everybody. Why? That person the man is living with or the woman is living with have understood the person and have already designed a means of handling that demon. In other words, once the person sees the partner, all those demons will go to rest. Why? Because that person have nurtured that good part of that person in years. So don't assume that this person or this person cannot make a good wife, or this person or this man cannot make a good husband. But that doesn't mean that you should just choose anyone you see on the street. I'm just saying it on a general note. That doesn't mean that you should choose anyone you see on the street. But the truth remains that everybody has two sides. You see all these women that shame prostitutes, we all know that prostitution is very bad and it will lead you to hell. But you see, I've seen a lot of women that even when the person repents, comes to Christ, becomes a newborn in Christ, they still refer to that person's old life. And most times you see those kind of people making the best of life. Why? Because there is always two sides to a human being. The next thing that you must know that in choosing your life partner, you will use your head, not your heart. If you don't use your head, you will be in trouble. A lot of women use their hearts. A lot of men use their hearts. And that is why the only driving force into that relationship is their feelings and emotion. Those feelings and emotion does not sustain marriage. And that is why after like 1 year of the marriage, you start hearing stories that touches the heart. Because those feelings and emotion starts fading away. And they start facing the reality of life. So, you have to use your head. Don't think with your heart. You are supposed to think with your heart after marriage. But before marriage, you have to use your head strictly. So every decision you are going to make it with your head. Let it not be mixed with any silly emotion. I'm calling it silly emotion because after marriage, your eye is going to clear and you face the reality of life. I did not make my choice based on emotion. I always advise people, it's better to marry, to love the man you married or love the woman you married than to marry the man you love and end up falling out of love. When you like and fall in love with somebody's personality, which can never change, there is high tendency that you will continue to love that person. But when your feeling becomes the driving force, because what happens is that most times we come into relationships, all this boyfriend, girlfriend, we are dating, we are that. With time, you start losing your mind. With time, you start losing your normal sense of reason. Those desires and emotion you feel for that person will start being your driving force. And I've even seen a lot that will say that they can no longer leave this man, that the relationship has been so long. What were you doing in the relationship for so long? Let me ask you. I just want to let you know that don't choose your partner because of the feeling you have for that person. Open your eyes clearly. Look for I thank God we are going to be making a lot of videos so that you know what to look out for. Don't just settle for someone because he's tall, dark, and handsome. There are so many tall, dark, and handsome demons. Don't settle for a woman because she's figure 8. There are so many figure 8 demons. You are loving that stature. Then after 1 year, the woman gives birth. All the stature will change. So even their faces will change completely. So what are you going to do then? What I'm trying to tell you is that you should use your head. Don't mix your decision with any form of emotion. That is just the fact. You have to make that decision with your clear eyes, with your sound mind. Forget this heart. It will deceive you. And once you have entered, you have entered. So, remember, like we said, peaceful marriages comes as a blessing from God. So pray to God to bless you with one. Then secondly, we talked about your marriage being dependent on you. So you are not expected to wait for the next person to make your marriage work. It is a sign of irresponsibility and childishness. 3, every human being is a marriage material. Every man is a marriage material. Every woman is a marriage material, depending on who you are. 4th, when it comes to choosing the right partner, use your head. Forget about your heart. Don't be in a relationship for too long that you can no longer leave that person, you break the person's heart. All those long relationships tends to tie you down. That even when you eventually see your soulmate, you're already hooked up somewhere and you cannot leave that person anymore. So don't hook yourself up. Be plain. It's not as if you shouldn't be in any relationship at all. No. But let there be boundaries. Let there be boundaries. Let there be boundaries. I had a lot of male friends, but I can tell you that there was strict boundaries. So make your boundary. Mingle with friends, mingle with male, mingle with female, but set your boundary. And you see that you will be respected. You have your self-respect. And when it's time to make your choice, you will make your choice with your four eyes open, your physical eyes and your spiritual eyes. If you make your choice of marriage with your other two eyes closed, you are in big trouble, because you are going to make your decision with these two physical eyes based on what your heart is telling you, because of the togetherness, the moment you have spent with that person. But when you make your decision with your four eyes open, it's always difficult to make the wrong decision. So, till we meet some other time, I remain your friend, ODJ Lillian. And my prayer is for you to marry and marry well. I don't want you to be among those people that will come to Facebook and be hide my identity. We don't want to hide your identity. We want you to enjoy your life in marriage. And I pray that God will bless you with a marriage, not just an ordinary marriage, a peaceful and blissful marriage that will last.